For a long time, I thought wealth was about secret tricks, big opportunities, perfect networking, or a magical turning point. Spoiler, it was none of that. What really put millions into my account were simple habits, repeated with intention and courage. No glamour, no magical formulas, just decision, consistency, and a mindset aligned with results. And the best part? You can copy all of them. In this video, I'm going to show you the 6 simplest, yet most profitable habits I've ever adopted. And if you're brave enough to apply even just 2, your financial life will move forward, faster than you think. If you like content that's direct, practical, and no nonsense, like this video now, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Because what I'm about to share isn't motivation. It's structure for real growth. Habit 1. I started treating my time like money. Because it is, before the millions came, I used to waste hours every single day. Scrolling through feeds, answering pointless messages, getting caught up in other people's urgencies, all without realizing that I was spending my time as if it were infinite. But time is the most valuable asset there is. It's what generates focus, what creates clarity, what makes room for real action. That's when I realized something simple but powerful. If I don't respect my time, money won't respect me either. So I changed the rules of the game. I created a routine with fixed hours for production, study, and rest. I eliminated 80% of the distractions that led me nowhere. I stopped being available all the time. And I started investing my time in 3 areas: growth, creation, and connection with key people. The result? My mind got clearer. My energy increased. And opportunities started showing up. Not by magic, but because I made space for them to arrive. If you still treat your time like it's disposable, you can't expect money to come in with respect. Because money follows your frequency, and your frequency starts with your daily choices. What's the main time thief you need to eliminate from your routine to make room for growth? Write it down below. Naming it is already the first step toward change. Habit 2. I stopped chasing money and started creating assets that work for me. For years, my money came only from my direct effort. If I worked, I earned. If I stopped, everything stopped. It was an exhausting, limited, and unstable relationship. Until one day, during a talk on millionaire mindset, I wrote down a sentence that changed my perspective forever. If your money only comes when you work, you are the asset, and that has a limit. That day, I decided to stop chasing money, and I started thinking like someone who builds income streams, not just tasks. What did that mean in practice? I created digital products that could be sold without me being present. I turned knowledge into content that works for me 24/7. I studied investing, even starting with very little. And I understood that every bit of time and energy I put into something needs to pay me back multiple times in the future. It wasn't immediate, but it was exponential. Today I make money even while I sleep, and not because I got rich overnight, but because I asked the right question. What am I building today that will keep paying me tomorrow? And you can start small. A simple product, a channel, an investment, a system. What matters is this: you need to stop selling only your time. Because as long as you're trading hours for money, you're stuck under the same financial ceiling every month. Habit 3. I started communicating like a woman who's already worth millions, even before having it in my account. Before any financial change happened, I had to change the way I showed up. And I'm not just talking about social media. I'm talking about posture, vocabulary, presence. For a long time, the way I spoke always came with self-sabotaging disclaimers. Oh, it's just a little project. I'm just getting started. It's nothing big. I charge super cheap because I'm still learning. Sorry to bother you, but if it doesn't work for you, that's okay. Those sentences sounded humble. But in practice, they exposed insecurity, scarcity, and fear of owning my worth. Until I heard a mentor say, "No one will value something you don't even value when you speak about it." That hit me hard. So I started reviewing every word I used to describe myself, my work, my value. I eliminated diminutives and excuses, replaced little project with strategy, stopped asking for permission to communicate, and adopted a clear, direct, confident tone, even if I was still adjusting. Inside, the impact was immediate. People started listening to me differently. Clients began trusting me more. My sales increased, without me changing anything but my language. Because the world doesn't respond to what you think. It responds to what you declare, consistently, confidently, and with intention. Millionaire women don't shrink themselves to fit other people's spaces. They speak with clarity, because they know the weight every word carries. Habit 4. I organized my money as if I were already a millionaire. and it started treating me like one. Before I had a lot, I barely organized anything. Money came in. I took care of whatever was urgent, spent a little, and the rest vanished. Sometimes, I didn't even know how much was actually in my account. You know what I used to say? When I make more, then I'll organize everything. No point categorizing it now. It's too little. I'll deal with it later. That was the trap, because money never respects those who treat it carelessly. Until one day, I read something that shifted my perspective. You don't organize because you have a lot of money. You start having a lot of money because you organize. That day I changed everything. I created simple spreadsheets and used them every month, not just in panic mode. Tracked income and expenses clearly. Gave every dollar a name. This is for investing, this is for fun, this is to reinvest in my business. Set realistic goals and deadlines for each one. And the most incredible part? The feeling of control stopped me from acting on impulse. I started saving, investing, planning with more courage, and the money that once felt like never enough started to stretch further. Because organization isn't about how much you have. It's about how committed you are to what you want to build. A millionaire isn't someone who has millions. It's someone who already knows how to manage them. Habit 5. I created an energetic routine that sustains the life I want to live. Before reality changed, I used to think I just needed more focus, more effort, more productivity. But in practice, the harder I pushed, the more drained I felt. And money didn't flow. That's when it hit me. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you're energetically prepared to sustain. I wanted abundance, but I was vibrating exhaustion, scarcity, anxiety. So even before the money increased, I created an energetic routine. Simple, but sacred. I started taking care of my energy field with the same dedication I gave to my projects. Short meditation every morning before opening any notifications. Moments of silence and connection with the vision I want to sustain. Intentional gratitude for what I already have, even if it's still little. Gentle physical movement to shift my energy, not just my body. And most importantly, avoiding cycles of complaining, comparison, or information overload. The result? My energy rose, my clarity increased, and my financial magnetism became much more noticeable. Because money doesn't only respond to logic, it responds to the frequency you sustain. And millionaire women don't live in hustle and no-time mode. Habit 6. I surrounded myself with environments, people, and content that validated my new identity. There's no point in trying to become a new version of yourself if everything around you reminds you of the old one. I used to say I wanted to grow, expand, build wealth, but I was constantly hearing things like, money doesn't bring happiness. You've changed, now you think you're better than us. Why all that? You don't need it. This energy stuff is nonsense. And even while trying to stay strong, a part of me still felt wrong for wanting more. That's when I understood. You become what you hear, what you see, and who you surround yourself with, even if you don't realize it. So I made an intentional shift. I started shielding my environment. Muted profiles that fueled comparison or victim mentality. Distanced myself, respectfully, from people who only complained. Started listening to wealth and mindset content every day, like training. Connected with women who were also on a growth path. And most importantly, I acknowledged when a place no longer supported my expansion. This wasn't about arrogance. It was about preservation. Because you can't build a life of abundance with a mind surrounded by collective scarcity. Millionaire women are selective with what they consume. Not because they think they're better, but because they know the mind is moldable, and the environment is the mold. It wasn't risky bets. It wasn't going viral. It wasn't luck. They were simple habits, repeated with intention, until they became structure. Today, you've learned the 6 habits that literally put millions into my account, starting from zero. You can start any one of these habits today, and you don't need a lot of money to do it. You need a decision. Comment below, which of these 6 habits are you going to copy first? Don't keep it to yourself. Declaring is activating, and writing it down is commitment. If this video truly brought you value, like it, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a woman you know has potential, but just needs the right direction. Remember, wealth isn't built with effort alone. It's built with intention, repetition, and positioning. And you can start training for it before the money shows up. Because in the end, millions are just the consequence of the woman you decide to become.